Ookie spooky, it's Halloween! I'm making a story time video today about a true story to me. I know what you're saying, okay? Dredile. Ghosts are bullshit. You're right. I think that anytime a can of beans falls off a counter at some old folks' home, Aunt Gertrude has to always blame it on the darn ghost. This, for me, is true and unexplainable. I'm not going to profess to say, of course, it was a ghost. However, it was a very scary story, and I can't really explain it. So one day I'm at home playing Minecraft or something really cool like that makes you a popular kid, and I got a phone call. Bring! Just kidding. That's not the surprise reveal of the video. That was just me getting a phone call. But I look down, and for the purposes of this story, and since it's on the internet, I get a phone call from Jen. Now, this is a girl who I was pretty heads over heels with at the time. To put it lightly, I wanted her very badly. She was blonde. She was... Anyways, she calls me and goes, "Hey, Dred, you want to hang out with me at 9:30 p.m. at night?" Of course. There's nothing I'd want to do more at 9:30 p.m. than drive to your house right now. Now, if it was a friend who called me at 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night, when it's a little windy out, X-nay on the hangout day. You gotta find yourself another fucking friend. But no, for this woman, I'm there. So I get in my car and I drive. As I'm driving, and it's dark, I live in a kind of a rural area of Utah. At the time, I lived even farther down south. So it was a windy night. It was fall. And it was cold. Just the trees were waving. It was creating weird shadows and everything. And I'm driving, just thinking it's pretty much a normal creepy-ass night in Utah. So I pick her up. She gets in the car, buckles her seatbelt. You know, at the click-clack of it, I'm dismantling the TP in my pants. And she turns to me and says, "Take me to the forest." Now, in our small town, or at least this small town that I drove to, Spanish Fork, Utah, there's a river trail. Sort of in the middle, sort of by these ballparks. And, you know, in the fall, it's basically abandoned. No one in their right mind is out when it's windy in the fall in 10 o'clock at night, you know, and especially no one's sane, okay? But if you're horny enough, any trail is walkable at any hour. I was like, that is the perfect idea. Let's go on a creepy-ass walk at this hour. You're a genius! Once we arrive at the forest, I immediately had a weird feeling. And, like, I don't even know why, okay? Like, I've walked the forest late at night with friends before, all my entire life when I lived in Spanish Fork. And no issues, I never had a problem. You know, the creepiest thing that I ever saw was, you know, a graffiti of a freaking penis underneath an overpass. And it had 3 more hairs than I was used to seeing on my prepubescent wiener. So, that was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen at that stage in my life. Since then, I've seen way hairier. She closes the car door, and I turn to look at Jen, and I say, "Jen, I don't know about this. Like, should we be walking in this forest right now? Like, why can't we go do anything else, like go to the supermarket and get a drink?" "Well, I have a cigar that I want to smoke, and it's the only place I can do it because I don't want to be seen because I have family in this town. I was like, "Well, frick. Of course you do. You know what? Everything's good." "Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense." "What the fuck are we doing out here?" Now, when you walk into the forest trail, it's a long little path, and then you reach the wall of trees, essentially, and then the path kind of starts going into them and behind them. And right next to it's a river. You know, by this point, the wind had picked up, and you know it was dark as F. You couldn't see anything. It was barely a sliver of a moon, if I can even remember correctly. But I just remember it being a dark, windy night. But we're walking, and eventually she reaches a point in the trail where she's like, "I'm ready to light up right here. This would be a good spot." And I was like, "Perfect. That is a great spot. Could have done it 5 fucking minutes earlier." Not scared, though. I'm a man, okay? So she lights up, and we're talking chit-chat for maybe 3 minutes straight, just chilling. The wind's blowing, so we're kind of having to speak up, and I'm standing immediately in front of her talking, because I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm looking at the beautiful lady, okay? I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and she's taking puffs. I took a drag or whatever of the cigar. When suddenly I look over her right shoulder, and I saw it. All jokes aside, this is the serious part of the story. I look over her right shoulder. I remember this clear as day. I look over her right shoulder to realize that there is somebody standing there at the edge of the trail at 10 o'clock at night behind her for 3 minutes, for however long we were there. What the... I immediately stop and I look, and what I remember from looking at him was it looked like an old man, okay? Now, I can't tell if it was a ghost. It wasn't white. It was none of that bullshit. It could have been a person. It could have been nothing. It could have been the trees. I have no idea. But there was an old man standing right behind her. And he looked grumpy, and he had a beanie on. Like one of those, like longer beanies. His face looked like he just smelled a plate of fish. Like, not... Because I'm not a hero or anything, I immediately go, oh, what the fuck? Like, I freak out and take a few steps back. Jen goes, what? She turns, and we stand there, and I go, look, there's someone right there. And I literally point right at it. And he's not moving an inch. Not an inch. Just off the edge of the trail. We're about in the middle of the trail, so I would say maybe 6 feet away. We take a few more steps back, because we're scared as fuck. And we're thinking about running, and we turn back to look and just stare at it. She's like, who is that? I go, hello? Hello? No response, just standing straight ahead. And at this point, we're at a different angle from it, too. So it's not like it was an optical illusion in the trees. We're maybe 8 or 9 feet away at this point, looking at a different angle than we were previously. So something was there. Just the whole time we were standing there talking. At that point, we just book it. After that second hello, she kind of like, Jen whimpers, I grab her, we start running. We just book it like high hell out of there. Woo, 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 with all the strength a 19-year-old horny boy can muster. We're out, 400, 500 feet away, who knows what. We finally stop running, and we just, and we are just shell-shocked at what we just saw, because... I mean, I don't know if it was a ghost. She immediately thought it was a ghost because she's superstitious and you know, uses crystal rocks. I hate ghosts. I don't believe in that crap. But I don't know what I saw that night. And to this day, we'll bring it, like, well, I haven't seen her in a while, but whenever I do see her, we'll bring it up. And, you know, whew, like what was that? You know, it was just creepy as fuck. And I still don't believe in ghosts. I don't trust my own eyes. I don't know what I saw that day, but, you know, I saw an old man with a beanie on the side of the trail. That was probably the creepiest, closest thing to a ghost experience I've ever had, besides the experience of returning home from a rave and looking in the mirror. Anyway, sorry, that's just a random story time video. I've never done one of those. I just wanted to put it out there. It's a creepy time of year story. If you have a creepy ghost experience or anything similar to that, post it down below in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Pray for me so that doesn't happen again. And as always, I love you.